This is really difficult for me. Just pure overwhelm. See, I sniff my armpits more than is necessary. I'm lying here with immense guilt. Can you see the issue I have? Does anyone else feel like they are stuck in Groundhog Day, where they're repeating the same day over and over again, year in and year out? Anyone else sick of it? I've come up with a way to begin to change it and then sustain it. Realistic changes is what I'm about. You ain't gonna get any of this cute aesthetic shit on this channel. No, it's gonna be a very raw and realistic look into my life. This is going to be fun. Is it? Is it really? It's gonna be a mess. If you're new around here, then this series that I'm creating is about how I'm realistically going to change my life. Why do I keep doing this today? And get out of this elastic band cycle that I'm in. So you're coming along for the journey. Buckle up, Barry. Who is Barry? If you've never heard of the elastic band cycle, then it's a terminology I made up because I feel like that's my life. I try to change my life and it just pings back.
Everything I try just never gets anywhere. It just always pings back.
I don't know why I'm singing it in a sing-song way. And nothing ever seems to change. And then I am just stuck in this same position. And I am done with it. Finito. Enough is enough. So in today's episode, I'm going to break Groundhog Day cycle. I'm talking micro changes, people. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna live my day exactly as I would, not forcing anything, not changing things just because the camera's on. This is going to be real. So I'm gonna live my day exactly as I would, and every time I do something which is the exact same, which I think I can make even just like a tiny little micro change on, I'm going to put a pin in it, metaphorically. And then the day after, I'm gonna live my life, and every time I get to a pin, I'm gonna take the pin out and live it differently. Actively, intentionally different. This whole process of putting a pin in Groundhog Day is to make you aware of the patterns that you are consistently repeating. Intentionally living your life rather than just mindlessly repeating the same day. Find the pins and make the change. Even tiny changes that don't require any extra mental effort. And I'll show you what I mean by that as we go along. And yeah, there is benefits in having routines, but not when it becomes monotonous and not when it's not working for you. You hear what I'm saying? So let's get into Groundhog Day. Lol. I really hate getting up so late. And why have you got up at 8, you say? Oh, maybe because I was on TikTok till like 12:30. It's a bad addiction I need to fix. The thought trail behind this is if I can get to bed early, fix my sleep, wake up at a decent time, then I will have a morning routine that actually sets up my day properly. Rather than just being like, oh my god, it's 8 o'clock, oh, it's 8:30, I need to just dive straight into whatever. And by setting up my day properly, then that will have a domino effect on the rest of my day, which will hopefully have a domino effect on the way I change my life. And like I said before in the other video, this process isn't linear. In fact, I don't think this will probably ever be linear. That's called life. It's very tempting to stay here. Look at my little grumpy face. So welcome to Groundhog Day. I'm definitely going to put a pin in this whole thing because this breakfast is like so repetitive. Sourdough with avocado and egg. There's room for a different thing. How can I expect things to change if I do things the exact same way every single day? Even just like the smallest details. Like right now, I'm sitting in this seat. I always sit in this seat. for breakfast. Why? Why do we have a seat that we always sit in for breakfast? I mean, you might not. Maybe that's just a me thing. You'll have to let me know in the comments below. But you might think, Kate, sitting in a different seat ain't gonna change your life, honey. And I would say, correct, you're right, but it is a micro change and it is something that I can do differently. Maybe I could even sit in a different room. Whoa, things are heating up now, crikey. Atomic habits who? I can feel my life starting to change already. Whilst I eat my breakfast, like I always plan out my day on my laptop. Breakfast is done. I also ended up like half writing a script. Sometimes like if I have breakfast and I'm like planned out my day and I've already done that and it's taken me like 2 minutes to do and I'm like, okay. Instead of just eating the rest of my breakfast, I'm like, well, what else can I do? What else can I be productive with? And then I'll try and write a script or try and write something. And now we get to 9:30 and I'm still in my pajamas. I'm still not ready for the day. Before I go to the shower, I just kind of wanted to mention, I am very good not going on my phone first thing in the morning. That's one habit that has actually stuck with me because I put it on do not disturb mode before I go to sleep. So when I wake up, then I'm not like bombarded with all of these notifications and then I don't get distracted. My rule is to leave it on do not disturb until at least after I finish breakfast, and then I'm allowed to go on my phone. Having do not disturb on has actually worked really well for me, so I'm not going on my phone first thing in the morning, because your brain is so easily influenced in the morning, because it's something about coming out of like the different brain wave states. So you're coming out of a slow wave state when you're asleep, and then when you wake up and you're doing stuff, like probably now my brain's in like a high wave state. In the mornings, your brain is so easily influenced, your brain is so easily malleable in the mornings. So going on my phone in the mornings can have a subconscious impact on my day that I don't even realize, and I bet it does with you too. If you go on your phone first thing in the morning and you're scrolling, it can really just have a really shit impact on your mental health and on your mood throughout the day and on your energy levels throughout the day. So I cut the head off with this whole phone business by putting my phone on do not disturb, and I really highly recommend that tip. Anyway, for now I'm gonna go in the shower. Just chucked on some really quick makeup. Also, my fringe is in a roller because it adds volume and definition. I'll show you later when it comes out. I feel like I'm gonna put a pin in what I'm wearing because I literally wear, let me show you, literally wear these cargo trousers like literally all the time because they're like stretchy waist, you're not constricted with jeans or anything, and it's got like 101 different pockets, but I'm like constantly unhealthily wearing these all the time, and I wonder if I can put a pin in this and wear something different, be a bit more professional, maybe put a blazer on, who knows. I'm gonna do a little bit of work now before lunch. It is so late to be working. I hate that it always takes me so long to get ready. I hate that about myself, I really do. So I tend to work in this room because of the natural light. I'm quite liking this Jedward look at the moment. Anyway, I've just made lunch, and this is put a pin in it moment because I have the same lunch pretty much every single day. Sandwich, grapes, hippies, and a cup of tea. But not just that, I kind of want to go deeper again with like breakfast. I always sit here in this room with lunch and watch a couple of YouTube videos. That's my lunch break. But I'm gonna put a pin in that as well because I think I could just make that tiny little change of not watching YouTube whilst I have my lunch, or maybe sitting outside and having my lunch and not having any stimulus going on, not having any music, podcasts, YouTube, social media, anything, just having my lunch and just sitting in solitude. I feel like it's like these tiny little changes that could make a big difference. Quickly want to read you something from Atomic Habits. All big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision, but as that decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows stronger. Roots entrench themselves and branches grow. The task of breaking a bad habit is like uprooting a powerful oak within us, and the task of us building a good habit is like cultivating a delicate flower, one day at a time. Literally, it's on the front of the book. Tiny changes, remarkable results. So I'm gonna put a pin in this, in not only my sandwich, but also in my location and what I do when I eat my sandwich. As you can see, I've set up my camera and light because I'm gonna film. That's why I did my hair and my makeup like this today. It looks a bit crazy at first. Oh, look at the bounce. It just kind of creates this volume. I'm gonna go and film this. The plateau of latent potential. That's what we're gonna talk about. If you haven't seen that video, then that was the video before this. I feel like that was the quickest YouTube video I have ever filmed. It is like 10 to 5. Do I want a nice coffee? Yeah, I do. Kind of want to put a pin in it because it's what I do pretty much around 4 o'clock. Most days I will have a coffee or an iced coffee. I also really want to put a pin in the fact that I've not been outside today. I think that's a pretty big pin because I would say like 90% of my life is inside and I really hate it, but I also really struggle with going outside, and that will be a future episode. And I put a pin in not going outside. I don't know what it is at the moment, but I've been having decaf coffee. Normal coffee makes me really anxious, like it gives me heart palpitations. So I've been having decaf coffee. Wow, I said that really weird. Decaf coffee. Weirdly, every time I have this, I'm like so freaking hyped. I'm like, what are they putting in this decaf? Because it kind of makes me feel like there is caffeine in here because I'm like, whoa, let's go, let's do stuff. And I feel like really energetic, and then my brain's just like all over the place. None of this is interesting. What am I doing? Why are you still here? So I have just reheated dinner. It's leftover pasta. Of course it is. What else would it be? So yeah, I'm just gonna eat my dinner. I'm gonna watch a little bit of Netflix. Now, don't normally do this. I don't normally eat dinner and watch Netflix. It's just when my parents aren't home, then I do. Maybe I could put a pin in dinner because pasta, yet again. Everything that I eat and drink I need to change is what I've come to the conclusion about today. Not change, just kind of mix it up sometimes so it's not the same old thing. Then again, I don't always eat pasta every day, so maybe we will scrap that one. Okay, forget what I just said, let's move on. It's now 22:09. Wow, I look really brown in this. I don't know what is wrong with these camera settings. I am not like this in real life. What is happening? What I was gonna say is that I want to pip, blah, 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 blah. I want to put a pin in what I've been doing for the last hour. Which is, I had my dinner, I finished my little episode of Netflix, and then I went on my phone. And then I was just scrolling on Instagram. And then Facebook. And Facebook, like, I don't know, I even never go on Facebook, but apparently I did. So I want to put a pin in that. I want to be more intentional with my time after dinner. Whether that's just like, you know, clearing up the kitchen. Go take off my makeup, pretty much like do all my skincare and be like ready for bed, but have a nice chilled evening. That's what I want to put a pin in. I'm gonna put a pin in that. I put pins in. How many pins have I done today? I don't know. I should be keeping track of this. So I'm gonna put a pin in that and I'm gonna go take off my makeup. Skincare is complete and it's like 9:15. This is another issue. Like, it didn't need to take 40 minutes to do my skincare. No, it doesn't. But why? Because I was replying to comments and I'm watching TikTok. Oh, I also did a face mask. That might have also been. I try and do my skincare like a couple of hours before I go to bed, so all of this isn't going off. Maybe I went too much. I mean, that is aggressively a lot of rosehip oil there. I mean, I might have to dab some of this off. Yeah, I can't decide if I want to put a pin in my hot chocolate because my hot chocolate is like my baby. Some people smoke, some people drink. I drink hot chocolate. That's how cool I am. But I know it's not good for me, so I'm like, maybe I'll do a compromise. No hot chocolate after 9 because I don't really like eating or drinking really close to bedtime, especially with like my reactive hypos. You just don't know what's gonna happen. I think at some point I would like to transition to like a chamomile tea or, you know, some calming tea rather than sugar before bed. When you put it like that, yeah, not a great idea, Kate. Real not a great idea. So we'll leave it for now and it will be something that I will change in the future. How about that? Catch me outside, how about that? Bro. I don't know what that was anyways. 11 and I'm really tired, so I'm gonna go to bed. But I'm putting a pin. Can you see the issue I have? I think the lines kind of blur when you're making content between consuming and creating. That's me. I'm definitely putting a pin watching TikTok before bed. It's something that I desperately want to change because I feel like just that small little change will have a roll-on effect. It will help me get to bed earlier, it would help me get better sleep, it will help me get up earlier, which will help me to do more work during the day, which will help me to ultimately build this new business that I've started and cultivate my other businesses to get me to a place of sustainability. Is that a thing? I don't know. Groundhog Day is over. Tomorrow, we're taking the pins out. Are we taking the pins out? What are we doing tomorrow? We're gonna make micro changes. That's what we're gonna do. It's like, what am I doing? And I kind of wonder if like making too many micro changes at once is going to be an issue for long-term sustainability. But I really would like to kind of give you an example of just how small these changes can be. It doesn't have to be, right, tomorrow I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna jog a 5k. Just kind of really want to show you that the small changes, that's what matters. I'll see you in the morning for micro changing day. Still a lot of work to do tomorrow, it turns out. Or maybe if you get up earlier, then you might be able to get some done. Yeah, that's fair. Fair point, Kate. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now. And let's do this again tomorrow, but let's do it differently. Yeah, I might have woken up like 15 minutes earlier than yesterday. That's a little micro change. Okay, let's do it. Make it in a different way. So instead of going straight in for breakfast, I'm gonna go in the shower first. And what is what you call a micro change. So I'm very aware that yesterday I was like, I'm gonna put a pin in my trousers. Not literally put a pin in my trousers. And actually today is colder than yesterday, so it would warrant trousers. I got my jeans here. I will say I've been using this Wild deodorant. They very kindly gifted it to me to try out. I ain't gonna lie, I think it's actually really good. It's like a natural deodorant. It's got all natural ingredients. Plus it's like this little print stick thing. It makes my heart so happy, look. And the smell is unbelievable. I've never liked roll-on deodorants. This stuff, this doesn't irritate my skin. And this actually provides proper protection. And it's better for the environment as well. This thing is compostable. It smells so good. This is the Fresh Cotton and Sea Salt. I sniff my armpits more than is necessary when this stuff is on my arms. It's not an ad, it's just gifted. They are not expecting me to say anything. If I do have a link, then I'll link it below. If you're interested in getting your own Wild deodorant, highly recommend. There you go, there's the fit today. Why do I think I'm cool? I'm not cool. I'm not cool. I mean, have you seen my hair? I look like I don't have any. Why does the cameras always make me look like I have no hair? There we go, it's better. Oh, it's a socks day. How could I forget my socks? Can I show you my socks? They're just white. Oh, I can smell that deodorant from here. It's like, it's divine. So, I seem to remember that yesterday we put a pin in breakfast. Thus means we must remove the pin. And the thing is with this, it doesn't need to be like massive changes. I don't need to change the whole thing in the beginning. I'm gonna do some like little tiny changes. This is wildly different to yesterday. I took out the egg and added feta and tomato. It's a little micro changes. It might seem like absolutely ridiculous, like this is actually going to make a change, but I think sometimes it's easier to start with the small things, because if we think about the entire picture, we can get overwhelmed. Right? Well, at least I do. I get overwhelmed with the bigger picture. I'm like, oh my god, I've got to do all of these things to change. And then I kind of like push away from it. Just pure overwhelmed. So by making the small little changes, just kind of like eases us in. Just like a little baby step at a time. Have you noticed the location change? Have you seen where my laptop is? Where is my laptop right now? I'm gonna try and sit here in silence and eat my breakfast. This is gonna be very different, but are you proud of me right now? Also, like, breakfasts for me have to be very particular because I have reactive hypoglycemia. I can't just be being like, oh, okay, well, tomorrow I'm gonna have jam on toast, because then I will probably just have the worst day ever. That's so good. That was so good. This is weird. I'm like kind of like itching to do something. This was a lot harder than I thought it was. I was like constantly like, oh, this idea, like, oh, I should write that down, oh, I should jot this down, oh, I should remember to do that, oh, I should watch that video that I made 5 years ago. Like, it was crazy. It was a crazy time in my mind. That's all I'll say about that. I think this is what they call mindful eating. Trio time. It actually does feel like a relief to not be trapped over there staring at my laptop and just sitting here and doing something completely different. Feels quite nice. I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's working. I just watched The Crown Crisis again because in my moment of like, I'm not gonna do anything, I was like, oh my god, do you remember The Crown Crisis? And then, oh my god, it's so good, like what the hell? Got the package? Well, that depends. You got my money? I'm glad that that got 3,000 views. Honestly, some of the skits that I used to do were just actually on point. I just spent the last hour filming a TikTok and posting 2 TikToks. This was not on the agenda today. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work in my bedroom today. I have a desk in here. I just don't like it because it faces the wall. If the desk was here in like next to the window, that would be ideal. I can't change it because if you saw the episode of me building a desk, then you will know why. But anyway, that is the next pin. Me not working in the other room like all of the time. Not me spying on my neighbours, lol. One of my favourite things to do when I'm working is go onto the Headspace app. And they have a little section for music to like listen to when you're working. These are some of my favourites up here. I think we're in a little bit of a need of star power today. It plays these like frequencies. I don't know the science behind it, but I know that some frequencies kind of make you go, I was gonna say feral, but that's not the right one. Let's do some work. It's been like maybe an hour and 20 minutes and I have finished the first draft of a YouTube video. Now it is lunchtime and you know what happens with lunch? I'm gonna pull the pin out. It is so frustrating when you film a video and you don't check the focus and you assume the camera's doing its job that it's meant to do because it's on autofocus and it should automatically be focusing on your face like this one is right now, hopefully. Is it? I think it is. And then you get it into the editing software and oh, some of it is out of focus. You've probably already seen it. If you haven't, then I will leave it linked up here. Go and check it out because so far it's shaping up to be a good one. Now, I think it is time to go check out the next pin. Don't know what that transition was. I'm so sorry. So like the whole point of all of this thing is just like going through your day and be like, what can I do just a little bit differently today that was different to yesterday? And that is going to help shift the whole groundhog day situation we got going on here. Basically going through your day and being like, okay, I have this for lunch. Okay, I normally sit in that chair right there, but today I'm gonna sit all the way over there in that chair over there. It's a tiny little change and you're thinking, what the hell is that gonna make a difference? But it's just gonna help refresh your day a little bit. And you don't have to do it with absolutely everything. You can do it just like as and when you do something that you constantly do, you always repeat. You always sit at your desk and you always have lunch at your desk, or you always scroll on your phone first thing in the morning, or you always go into the toilet with your phone. Am I right, people? So I think it's like really important to just take the tiny little changes and start there. Okay, so this is my lunch. It's like an open toasted thing. I got mozzarella on one side, brie on the other side with tomatoes and basil. So I was just about to go upstairs and get my laptop so I could watch YouTube because that is what I automatically do. Why am I crying at this? And like this is like a really big habit. I kind of would just like to give my eyes and my brain a rest from being stimulated by social media. I'm gonna try and sit here and eat my lunch. Maybe I'll listen to a podcast. How about that as a compromise? I'm actually halfway through an episode from the Mel Robbins podcast, so I might listen to that. This is just something that I kind of want to change up because this is really difficult for me. I didn't think that this would be that hard, but no, this is the hardest change so far, the hardest micro change. Am I addicted to YouTube? Maybe. Oh, and I got some grapes as well. Green grapes are for the win. I will usually have tea or Coke Zero with my lunch, and I'm just gonna go water. I need to give my body a rest. I need to give my brain and my eyes some rest, and I need to give my body some rest. Let's eat. To be fair, that does look pretty good, right? Oh, okay, my grapes escaped. The grapes escaped! The grape escape? Do you get it? Have I just become a genius? Yes. I've actually turned off the podcast. I can't focus on podcasts. I don't know why. My brain's just a little bit all over the place today. Weirdly, I'm not missing the Coke Zero or the tea. I'm just more happy with water. I'd be lying if I said I had been working for the last hour. That motivation dip now is really starting to kick in. I'm scrolling on my phone. I went to go and do something on my phone, and then I just got totally distracted and bored in, and now I'm lying here with immense guilt and immense anxiety, but so much that I can't use that as motivation to get up and start, you know? This is the issue of being self-employed. Like, you have to be the one to motivate you. What can I do to help? I could get up and I could make a nice coffee. That would help. At least just get me up. Okay, this is what I needed. I've come downstairs, I brought my laptop. I'm sitting in the conservatory. It's warm, but it's raining. I think this is what I needed, just the change of scenery, just a change of like, okay, let's get off this phone, let's go somewhere different and let's work. This actually makes me really happy, listening to the rain. It's such a therapeutic sound for me. In fact, I saw this quote at the beginning of the year and it really motivated me. I think sometimes I need quotes to motivate me. But the quote said, don't spend another year doing the same shit. And I feel like that is very relevant to this video. Do something fucking different. Yes, I did pour coffee down myself. Okay, it's now 6 o'clock. I'm going to retire for the day. I'm really glad that I came down here and changed the scenery, because before I was going to try and get some work done upstairs in that room, but I just don't know why. Just didn't. Just kept procrastinating. Just kept being like, I'm gonna scroll. I've got something done. And something's better than nothing. Small steps are bigger than no steps at all. Remember that one. Had dinner. No changes during dinner, and that's okay. I sat here and I watched Netflix. The Diplomat, if anyone is interested. It is 8:15. To be fair, I was on Instagram for a while because I put a poll up and I was like, oh, let me just check who's voted and what they voted for. I love that one person voted for hummus. You know who you are. So far only one. Anyway, and then I got just very distracted on Instagram and I was just scrolling, and then I downloaded this app called Well Spent. I have restrictions on my settings on my iPhone and it just doesn't work. So I downloaded this app and it kind of like pops up notifications when you spent your allotted amount of time. You can change that and stuff. I'll explain it better in a different video. And that popped up and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna leave now. Thank you for reminding me. I've been on here for so long now. Basically where I was getting at, it's 8:15. I'm thinking I might start getting skincare on, PJs on, and then hopefully I will be having my hot chocolate at like latest 9 o'clock, not 9:30, which was like yesterday. I was feeling really shit earlier. I was feeling so freaking guilty that I just like spent most of the afternoon lying on my bed on my phone. But alas, here we are. Doing the thing. We're trying to make the changes. Trying not to beat ourselves up about what we did in the past. I'm kind of excited that it's 8:15 and I'm like, okay, let's do stuff now, rather than just being like, kind of thing. Anyone else feel like me? Show of hands. Who is she? Who is she? Can you read that? Skincare, retinol, wax on the face. It's slapped on. Just wanted to say that I think this is a successful win. Today has been a good change day, kind of. There's been ups and downs for sure, but I feel like it's kind of broken through that barrier. Maybe even tomorrow I'll go outside. What is that? What is that outside thing again? Is that where we're supposed to go and like be and stuff? Yeah, it is. Well, maybe one day. It's been really refreshing to like change implements of my day. I explained this in a video before, the cracked egg theory. Basically when you have the egg and the goodness is inside, and every time you tap the shell, a little bit cracks. And the more taps you make, the easier it is to peel the shell off the egg. I'm talking like a boiled egg here, by the way. The easier it is to take off the shell and then you're left with the goodness inside. I feel like that's what these little tiny micro changes are doing. And if I can do that every day, if I can just do, even if it's just one of these things that I've done today, just differently, starting off easy, starting off small, giving myself some grace and being like, okay, let's not just dive in the deep end and be like, right, Today I'm going to go for a 5-mile hike. Yeah, that's not gonna happen because that's just not me. That might be great if that works for you. I just kind of wanted to do something different and I hope it's kind of helped. If it has, please let me know in the comments. If you are like me and you were just stuck in this despair of not moving forward, not moving an inch, then I think you're gonna really like this video right here. And of course I'll see you in the next one.